Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bablet Jonathan. In our top stories on this edition of the news, the World Health Organization warns that Africa could become the new coronavirus epicenter. The past weeks have seen a sharp rise in the number of coronavirus cases on the African continent. And back in the Republic of Cameroon, the government has extended its anti-COVID-19 measures and other accompanying measures that have been taken by the administrative authorities to prevent the spread of the COVID-19, as the figures of confirmed cases, deaths, and also those treated continue rising. The President of the Republic of Cameroon has ordered that schools should resume 1st of June 2020. Schools have remained shut down in the Republic of Cameroon since the outbreak of the coronavirus. This is one of the three measures taken by the President of the Republic and announced by Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Jangote yesterday. In the meantime, the government has extended its first 13 anti-COVID-19 measures or restrictions by 15 more days. The government is stepping up the fight against COVID-19 as the figures continue rising. For me, I'm Sonsanda.
Directly related to the fight against the coronavirus pandemic in Cameroon, President Paul Biya took three strategic decisions Thursday, April 17, 2020. Among the three measures taken by the President of the Republic of Cameroon is the resumption of classes from nursery to universities across the country, beginning June the 1st, 2020.
It is understood that this measure is subject to change depending on the evolution of the pandemic.
Schools have remained closed in Cameroon since the 18th of March 2020 as one of the measures to curb the spread of COVID-19. President Paul Biya also extended the implementation of the measures against COVID-19.
The renewal for an additional 15 days of the 13 restrictive measures published on 17th March 2020 as part of the fight against the spread of the COVID-19 in our country.
Were taken by the government of Cameroon. President Paul Biya also called for the finalization of a process to evaluate the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the Cameroonian economy and the fast determination of the urgent measures to accompany most vulnerable economic sectors in Cameroon and households within the coronavirus period.
The committee's findings to date give us reason to be optimistic about our ability to contain this pandemic.
The special COVID-19 response measures announced for 15 days by the governments of Cameroon have been renewed twice.
Speaking in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, yesterday, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon, Chief Dr. Joseph Jangote, explained government's action and the present situation of Cameroon as far as the COVID-19 and, of course, government's fight against the pandemic is concerned. Take a listen.
Firstly, it appears the number of patients testing positive to COVID-19 continues to increase. Statistics provided by the Ministry of Public Health show that 996 people have been infected against 731 on the 9th of April. However, 164 people have recovered from COVID-19, while 22 deaths from this virus have been reported. As a result, the mortality rate of COVID-19 remains low in our country compared to the total number of patients testing positive and to the situation in other countries. Secondly, It was noted that the population largely adheres to the measures prescribed by the head of state to limit the spread of COVID-19 in Cameroon. The measure concerning the compulsory wearing of protective masks in areas open to the public is welcomed and applied by a very large majority of our compatriots. Moreover, the masks do not mean that we must stop compliance with social distancing measures. In our markets. Thirdly, the government has taken full measure of the difficulties faced by certain key sectors of our economy as a result of the global health crisis caused by COVID-19 pandemic. I'm thinking in particular of the transport, hospitality, and catering sectors. It goes without saying that the restrictions will be gradually lifted as the pandemic is brought under control nationally and internationally. Fourthly, the government notes with satisfaction the mobilization of national and international stakeholders in the fight against COVID-19 in our country. There is every reason to believe that actions being carried out in various fields to limit the spread of this virus in our country are already producing encouraging results and deserve to be intensified on the ground until this pandemic is eradicated.
Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malachi, was explaining government's anti-COVID-19 strategy to members of parliament yesterday at the Hemicircle in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, and he said that by tomorrow 100 ventilators will be available, and he also indicated that command has been placed for 700,000 test kits to reinforce the government's response plan worth 56 billion francs CFA. Innocent Azi reports.
Dr. Manauda Malachi, Public Health Minister, spent at least 3 hours facing the Member of Parliament at the National Assembly briefing on the coronavirus situation.
As people representing were a bit worried with some measures that they will have to ask the minister to clarify on certain things. Like the testing that people are complaining they are not able to get tested. Some people are complaining that they are paying for those tests. Some people are complaining that there should be total lockdown. Some people are complaining that Cameroonians out of this country that need to return back because they are being confined in foreign countries. And what are we doing about that? So we had to ask the minister all these questions so they can assure Cameroonians.
Questioned on the government's new approach of not communicating regularly, new contagious, recoveries and death cases, Dr. Manauda Malachi explains that the daily issuing of statistics was to revive the people's consciousness of the reality of this pandemic.
Beaucoup ne croyaient pas. Et donc, il fallait leur donner les chiffres au jour le jour pour qu'ils se rendent compte.
Explanations which some of the people's representatives deemed satisfactory and imperative.
And we are very satisfied because he answered point by point and gave us all what they have been doing as we are closing in 2 days' time. When we go